How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines, and welcome back to the city of Nerdholm. In the last episode, we finally turned our attention to Lakeside South, which is now finished and is a beautifully detailed, wealthy-looking suburb. I say wealthy-looking because I don't actually know what the wealth level is in here, but the buildings that we used make it look a little bit more upmarket, and that's sort of what I was going for. And in case you're curious, there happens to be 1,400 people living in Lakeside South. But of course, that's not all. We also started work on the Nerdholm Chirpers Stadium, which has been a long time coming. I've seen comments on almost every episode of this series suggesting that we build a stadium, mostly from the same 2 or 3 people, so you're welcome for that one. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last episode or not, but I did absolutely see those comments, and I do appreciate them. And the Nerdholm Chirpers Stadium is actually not finished at the moment. I'm pretty sure I said I would finish it between this episode and the last one, and if you're watching these as they come out, you'll be aware that it's been a while since the last episode. But to be fair, I've been slightly addicted to SimCity, and I also did one other little thing that I want to just take a moment to talk about. Because if you weren't aware, I was invited by Paradox to take part in the 2022 City Skylines Global Collaboration. And my video as a part of that series went up recently, where I decided to build a 19th century seaside resort with a little bit of inspiration from the real world, but mostly as an effort to show off all of the 19th century seaside resort buildings that came in the Seaside Resorts Content Creator Pack. It was a lot of fun. The video will be linked in the video description, and do check out everybody's work in the global collaboration, because it was a whole lot of fun and a bit of an honor to be invited to take part in that. So, like I said, link in the video description. If I remember to put it on the screen right now, then it'll be on the screen right now, and if I don't, then it'll be in the video description. I probably didn't need to say that 3 times, but link in the video description. Now, today is a very special day, and it's a day that I'm very excited about, because if you're watching this video on the day that it's come out, then you might be aware that today is the day that the Cities Skylines Financial District DLC has released, and that gives you the option to build banks, but it also gives you the option to build a stock exchange, and that's kind of what I want to focus on for today's video. Now, I know I did say we would finish the stadium, and we will. We're just going to put this as a little pause between last episode when we started it and the next episode when we finish it, because, look, I'll be honest with you, getting a video out on the new expansion on the day that it comes out is kind of good for the YouTube algorithm, so that's what we're doing, all right? It's what we're doing, all right? Just settle down. We'll do the stadium next time, all right? I'm gonna put my calm voice back on now, and we're gonna do this City Skylines video like this is what like a normal City Skylines video, all right? 3, 2, 1, all right. So Florence Heights is basically going to go away. That's my plan here. It's a relatively uninspired district. It's one of those districts that I just put together ages ago because we needed some population, and so I think it's going to go away, and we're going to build a stock exchange across the road from Nerdminster. And I do need some name suggestions for what this district is going to be, because Florence Heights just isn't going to cut it. Now, this is the size of the district. It does, for some reason, have a park extending over there. And to be honest, we might get rid of the media broadcast building. Oh, that's why the park extends over, because that's where the service point is. Okay. We might get rid of the media broadcast building, but what I'm going to do initially, and I might hate myself for doing this because I do really like these buildings being across from here, but I think the stock exchange is going to look great. We're going to get rid of everything in here. So let's very quickly go ahead and just bulldoze Florence Heights. Now, one thing that I want to do with bulldozing Florence Heights is keep all of the green space between the district and the promenade over by the water, because honestly. I spent a little while putting all of that in there a while ago, and I'm just not really willing to get rid of all of it. Although I do think it might be a good idea to get rid of this high-capacity elementary school because we just don't need it. And I suppose we're also going to get rid of a lot of these roads as well, so I'm going to have to adapt some of this green space eventually, but for now, we'll just go ahead and bulldoze all of these guys, get them out of here. Everything should be fine. I think we did have some... Oh, this is a park. Okay, well, you can go. We're going to have to adapt some of this, like I said. Let's get rid of that part as well, and I suppose we're getting rid of all the paths as well. We're getting rid of these guys, and that's going to give us a really nice, clean slate to play with. So I guess now we need to take a look at the size of the stock exchange, because I haven't played with any of this stuff. This is all completely new to me. This is my first look at this DLC, so it's a decent size. It'll go nice and central right there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get myself a little section of road right here. I think we'll go for a road with a median because I can. And what I want to do is come back, let's say 4, maybe 5 units. I'm thinking 5 we'll come across, and we'll just go ahead and change this guy as well. And then what we can do is put the stock exchange right about there. And it's a pretty good looking building. It actually looks great opposite Amsterdam Palace, so I'm very happy about that. Now, I should say, not only is this my first time playing with the features of this DLC, I have no idea how this thing works. This is, again, kind of new to me. So it's operating normally. It had 0 simoleons. We'll call it simoleons. I've been playing a lot of Sims recently. 0 simoleons last month, $0. So I guess investment gains until next level. Let's manage my investments. So Death Care Service Fund. Where healthcare fails, we excel. The circle of life ensures we are never out of business. Our goals are high productivity and happy customers. So basically, I could buy stocks in death care services. Interesting. I can buy stocks in generic industry, healthcare services. I can buy stocks there. They're quite expensive. We've got the very legit company. I like that they've kind of fallen off a little bit there. They actually just picked up again. So I think what we'll do is let's invest in death care. So we'll go ahead and put, I don't know if I want to put that much in there. I don't know if I want to get 100,000 shares. Maybe just 500 for now would be sort of the way to go. It's 181,000 there. So we'll buy that. That seems fine. And then I guess if that bounces back up, I'll make some money and that'll be cool. So I'd gain $6,000 right now. 6,000 chirper bucks. I've no idea what the actual currency is in Cities Skylines. I should probably know that. I don't. So maybe one of you know what the actual currency is in this game. Anyway, I think this looks fantastic right here. I'm not going to go too crazy detailing it right now. What I really want to do is just fix these parks back here. And maybe we should extend the Nerdminster district. Actually, no, we did say we would name this differently. So what we'll do is I'm going to get rid of at least this section of Florence Heights. I'm also going to take this out of here because that'll just save me some money. I'm going to get rid of this section of Florence Heights. We'll keep this little bit, and basically we can have a new pedestrian zone here because I think that'll be a good idea. It also means I can use some of the same connections that we had, so I can put a road through here and sort of maintain what this district looked like. We can just update it to be a stock exchange with a bunch of banks, and we can maybe, we could work on a second Skyline in here as well. There's not a lot of space, but we did recently get a bunch of skyscrapers. Let's not get carried away though. Let's fix these roads and then see where we can go from there. Alright, so there's nothing too crazy going on here. It's just a little bit of a touch up for these green spaces and a bit of a key down at the end as well to hide some weirdness going on with this particular pedestrian path. And the reason for this is pretty simple. We just couldn't connect this guy to this road here without having a really ridiculous slope. And even in saying that, some of these slopes over here, they're they're pretty darn steep. I don't know if I'd want to walk up one of those, especially these days. Let me tell you, outside right now, it is like glass. It's so cold. And I mean, Northern Ireland's a pretty wet country. The UK in general is a pretty wet country a lot of the time. So it was raining, then it was suddenly very, very cold. And yeah, it's like ice skating outside right now. So this, in the weather that I'm seeing outside my window, would be a nightmare. Or it would be really fun if you were at the top and decided you needed to get to the bottom quickly. Although, I don't know how I'd feel about stopping. Anyway, moving on from that, you don't have to worry about snow in the city skylines right now. This isn't a snowfall map, although I have been considering building a little Christmas market at some point since it's almost Christmas. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I want to look at you, and I want to see what's going on. So I need to earn 50,000 chirper bucks from investments. So if I was to go and sell my current stocks in the death service fund, although if I just hold on, I mean, it seems to be trending upwards. It's now worth 13,000. I'm curious to see if it'll go up again, back down to 9,000. So I put 181,000 in there. I would get 196 right now. So let's sell. And if I sell all of my shares, I'll get 18,000. If I then go back to here and click on you. Oh, so leveling this up is actually quite easy. Okay. I kind of want to go invest somewhere again. So what else have we got? What's doing badly right now? Absolutely. Oh, hold on a minute. I can invest in other things if I level this place up. That's really cool. Okay. I don't know if I want to invest in gasoline right now. I don't know about this, although it did just spike up a little bit. And I could also, oh my God, 4.8 million for 1,000 stocks. It's very, it's very expensive, this one. Let's go for about $1 million worth in stocks, and we'll see how that goes. So 209. We'll buy those. We spent 971,000. We'll see what we get when we're done building here, and maybe we can level this thing up. And if we do, that, I'm pretty sure, is how we can go ahead and get some banks. So we can get a small bank if the stock exchange reaches level 2. We can get a large bank if it reaches level 3. And we can get a skyscraper bank if it reaches level 4. Now, speaking of skyscrapers, we can go into unique buildings right here. And I'm pretty sure if we go to content creator packs and scroll for a little bit, we have a bunch of skyscrapers that we could play with. But there's an easier way to find all of that. I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to turn on the additional filters, and I want to sort by the Skyscrapers Content Creator Pack, which if I can see it first time, that will be great. There it is. And suddenly we can see everything, including the props. But the only thing I'm interested in is the buildings. So we'll go for the ploppables, which is all of the buildings. We have things like this guy. We have things like this. We have some amazing skyscrapers in here. I don't want to place all of them. I'm definitely thinking that we don't want to go too crazy with a skyline here. We want something that's going to be a little bit taller than everything else around it, but not so tall as to dwarf everything around it like this would. I don't really want to dwarf things. I want to make it look good, but I also want to make it make sense. So, as I've done a couple of times before, I've decided to lay out a little bit of a palette that we can choose from for this new district, or at least this updated district, which right now is referred to as Chestnut Mall, which is the name of that pedestrian space. And we have these 6 skyscrapers that look absolutely fantastic. I love, love, love the detail on these. They look incredible. And this one especially, I really like how this looks. I'm not going to try and pronounce the names of any of, well, that one's Montgomery Tower on the left there, or one Montgomery rather. I got it wrong. It's the one I can pronounce and I got it wrong. This is why I don't try and pronounce things. This one here though is one that I feel should go in a relatively central spot. So I'm sort of feeling like back here somewhere, or maybe on this corner. I think what's important is it needs to look out over the water. And actually, if I put it there, it kind of plays nicely with the key that I have going on. So I'm thinking that's exactly where that guy can go. And it looks really good. I kind of want this guy to be dwarfed by the buildings behind and around it. That's my whole goal here. Now we've got this guy. Again, not going to try and pronounce it. I'm just going to refer to a lot of these things as this guy and that guy, unfortunately. This, I'm slightly tempted to put there. The only thing is it completely blocks the view of the stock exchange. So I don't know. I'm actually sort of regretting putting this one on my little palette here. It's not too bad right there, but again, it kind of just blocks everything. So maybe we just get rid of that one. As for the rest of them, let's go for, what do we want to go for? Let's go for this guy. We'll go for a slightly smaller one. And I'm wondering, can I get it in this corner? I absolutely can. Could I put it there, perhaps? No. No, I can't. It doesn't sit nicely. Can I put it there? I absolutely can. Okay. I don't mind that. They're not perfectly in line, which is good. And it fills up that corner pretty nicely. So I'm quite pleased about that. I think that's a good spot for that tower. As for the rest of them, we've got you. And I'm thinking you could maybe... I don't want to put it directly across. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think this one can maybe live somewhere like right about there. Right on that particular intersection between that pedestrian road and the avenue. This round building, I'm thinking could maybe go on this corner here though. So it's a little bit different to the one across the street. And it gives us, again, a bit more height right directly behind the stock exchange. Although in saying that, I don't know what should go between them. I almost feel like there should be one more building in there. I just think it might look weird. Unless I do... We could copy this. We could use Move It to copy this and have sort of two matching towers there. As for One Montgomery, I mean, it's another square tower. It's most likely gonna go somewhere like down here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. We'll just throw it right about there, I think. And that's pretty good. Again, nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. It just fills in the space quite nicely. And so after a little bit of experimentation, I think this is what our city skyline is going to look like. You can probably see what I did there. That was a very low-hanging piece of fruit that I picked right there. But yes, this is going to be the financial district skyline. It's not perfect. It's a little bit thin from some sides, but I'm kind of happy with it. I like that we have a little bit of depth to the buildings. I like that we have some height variation going on, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, obviously, we need to come in here and start detailing things, because at the moment, it's just a bunch of buildings that have been placed on a bunch of roads. And as well as that, we also need to get ourselves a good old service point for all of this. So what I might do, it would be nice if I could get the larger service point, but I don't think I can. I can get the smaller one here. It's not going to play very nicely with that road, which is kind of annoying. The larger one would be much the same. So what I'm thinking I might do is just ever so slightly change out this bit. And I mean, this building can just be rotated. So what we can do is swing this guy around so it's facing the road on the right there. And then I think I will just put the large service point in here. Not that I think we're going to need the larger service points, but it fills up a little gap in the road. It does look a little bit weird next to all these buildings though. So maybe actually we do go for the smaller one. The only issue is that I don't feel like this service point would be front and center. I feel like it would be somewhere else. I feel like it would be tucked away and almost kind of hidden from the main road here. That does seem like a really weird place to put it. So I'm now kind of wondering where I could put a service point that would make a bit more sense. And I just genuinely don't know. I mean, we could cheat for now. And I think I'm going to cheat for now. I'm going to extend the district over to here. And what I'm going to do is just place a large service point. Oh, it is going to be kind of nasty looking if I do this. I'm going to put a small service point right there. And that'll be just fine. So we'll get rid of this guy. We're not going to bother with a service point at the front there. And what we can do is just reconnect these roads. Because I do like that looping around there. I think that looks pretty good. And now it is just a case of detailing. Now, something I did make sure to do was to leave this subway station in here because I feel like that's kind of important. I feel like that's an important piece of infrastructure for this area. And it does have, you know, 2 different lines that sort of come and go here. We have the one that goes out to the industry, and we also have the purple line that does a lot of looping around here. So some relatively important lines there. I'm not actually too sure how popular. They're actually my least popular lines. So reasonably, I could have gotten rid of them, but I didn't. Let's move swiftly on from that. I'm slightly annoyed that I didn't check that. Regardless, we're going to be leaving the metro station in here because I've said so at this point. But I think what I really want to do with this whole space is make it as pedestrian friendly as we possibly can. Now, obviously, it is a pedestrianized space, so it already kind of is pedestrian friendly, but I also want to get lots of regular paths in here so that we can just go ahead and, I don't know, have some fun with this and just see what's possible. So I want to bring a path back here, and I want to bring a path down here, but I also want it to sort of go through there so people could theoretically walk through that little space. I don't know that they will, but, you know, theoretically they could, and so that's what's exciting. I'm also slightly tempted to swap it out for this. I don't know if that looks good, though. It doesn't look amazing. It's definitely not going to look good in there, but it does sort of nicely border these buildings. So if I grab this guy and just sort of shuffle it over a little bit, that does look a little better to me now that we actually have it like right up against this building. And what might even look really good here is swapping out this particular path for one that's going to provide some contrast, such as the amusement park path. Now, that does give us some gravel up here, and I'll be the first to say that I don't love that, but we could then just go in and paint over all of this and preserve that contrast. We still have the red path without the gravel, and I'm kind of a sucker for it. I know contrast has kind of become a meme of a word, but I like it. I think having this red in here is kind of important. We've got a lot of very white and gray buildings, so some stronger colors. It's not red, it's more of a kind of brownish, reddish orange, but regardless, I think having some strong colors like this and like green from plants as well in a moment, I think it's going to be really important to make this place just feel a little bit less, I guess, clinical is the word we'll go for. So that's what I'm going to try and do. We're going to try and make it less clinical. Now, can I go ahead and change this little intersection to bring these guys closer together? Ooh, I don't like that. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see. Can I bring you in a little bit? I absolutely can. I can bring you in a little bit too, and that gives us a nice little corner there. I think that looks okay, and I think some bollards around here will help to make this sort of become more of a plaza, and then just some little, I guess, kiosks and things in there as well. So let's search for bollards. We are not searching, oh god, base game, bollards, what am I looking for? All these guys. We're looking for the pedestrian bollards that came with plazas and promenades. We can use our line tool, and we'll just go from here the entire way. Honestly, I'm just going to go right into the road, because what I can do is delete it after the fact, and this will just give us a nice straight line of them there. And I suppose we should go from about here, right next to that existing bollard, just straight down to, I guess, there. Now that is going to give us a little bit of a weird corner. I don't necessarily love that. So I think what we'll do is select props. We will grab these bollards that we put down. It's not a perfectly straight line, but that's okay. And I'm just going to try and shuffle it a little tiny bit this way. And I think that looks okay. That sort of spaces those guys out. We could maybe just rotate this slightly so it's a little better looking. I think that's okay. And we'll just move it down a tiny little bit as well. And that gives us something a little bit better looking, I think. And it just immediately defines this space as some kind of plaza. So now, I'm not going to spend forever detailing every little piece of this, because I don't think we need to. What we can do is just go in here with an existing plaza. We could do something like Paradox Plaza. We have the room for it. We can move it. I'm not going to use Paradox Plaza, but we could if we wanted to. I think what I'd like to do, though, is get something like the Food Truck Plaza, or probably not the Ice Cream Stand Plaza. Definitely the Food Truck one, though. Let's go ahead and place it. And now what I want to do is grab it. I want to rotate it, holding left Alt so it snaps to 45 degrees. And then I can just sort of move it. And I'm going to try and line up these tiles so that the tiles are in line with the metro. That needs to come down towards the road just a teeny tiny little bit to about there. And I think that looks good. I think that's a great use of space. It gives us a nice little social space for people to hang out, get some food, chill, relax, have a seat. It brings some trees in here. And I will be honest on the trees, I kind of want to swap them out for something else. I want to swap them out for these guys. And I can't for the life of me remember what they're called. Those are the generic pine trees. And actually, speaking of trees, let's swap out the trees on the road for the young linden. So we'll just go ahead and change out all of these guys on that avenue. So let's use Bob. Let's select this guy. And what we want to do is find the trees. Now, in this case, the trees are going to be tree to variant. We want to swap that out for generic pine tree. And I'm actually not 100% sure about that. What if we did the young linden? What would the young linden look like in there? I don't think it pops enough. I think we will go for the generic pine tree. Definitely not any of those. We'll go for this. We'll confirm it. And it's a little much, but I think next to the buildings, I think it looks okay. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to bother detailing the rest of this space. Well, no, I'm not going to bother detailing the rest of this space, because if I do, I'm going to have to detail every little corner. We'll come back and do it. Let's do a first pass with the main components of all of this. This is a good start. This is kind of an idea that I think we can carry through the rest of this. Make it functional, make it pleasant, introduce colors, and we'll continue to do that. So let's very quickly figure out what this space is going to be. And I think what we'll do to start that process is just get ourselves another path. I'm going to just, cut it in half so I can move the end pieces up towards the pedestrian path there. And then the avenue right about there. Get rid of you. And that seems okay. And then we have this square, which is a beautiful space. So let's see what could fit in there. We have a bunch of plazas. This one actually is the small fountain plaza. And looking at it, I'm realizing that I could plop it right there. And then we could use move it and hold left alt to snap it to the grid and just move it back one. And then it sits perfectly central in this open space. My only thought is that I do almost want to keep the grass around it. So I wonder if I could get away with taking out all of this. Now, I do want to keep the sidewalk there, but it seems like I can sort of get away with this. Although, admittedly, it seems like we do probably want some of the concrete underneath of it. But I could do that, and then I could go in and use this standard pavement path. Well, actually, I don't think the pavement path's going to work. We could use this guy, the park path, to create some little small path segments that we can move into this space so that we actually do have a connection between the path and the sidewalk. And then I can do that, I think, on every side. And then I could use my concrete retaining wall network, which I love, to create some curbs around here. We can put some trees in that green space. And then not only are we getting trees in here, we're also getting some grass in here, which is another thing that's going to be important for this space. So let's very quickly do that. I don't know what I want to invest in, though, to be honest. We do have the Healthcare Service Fund, which is at an all-time low. So maybe we buy 1,000 stocks in that and wait for it to rise back up. That might be the way to go. We could potentially go and look elsewhere as well. After all, I mean, why not go back into gasoline? Since we just... Oh, I don't know if I want to spend 3 million. I'm going to be honest there. But I think I will spend about another million on another 203 stocks. So we'll see how that goes. We're already gaining 21,000 there. So if that shoots back up, we're going to be in a really good spot. And then for healthcare, I mean, I'm not 100% sure how to... I don't know if I can... Oh my god, it leveled up. It actually changes. Oh, I didn't know that. Wait. Whoa, hold on a minute. This is messing with me. Because I recently got back into playing SimCity 2013 and the buildings in that. Oh my god, it's like the City Hall. It's like SimCity's City Hall. That's really cool, actually. So this is going to turn into a tower as well. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm actually, funnily enough, really invested in this now. I want to see this place succeed. That's really cool that it levels up. Oh, man. That's got me really excited. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to detail all this space. I want to get some public transport connections in here. And we need to talk about public transport because I actually went and got a couple of new buses. A bunch of Man Lions City buses of different sizes. I also got a new double-decker bus as well because the bug that I talked about, at least I think I talked about it, where the new buses that came with a recent update don't appear is still ongoing. But I've seen people saying that they also have left-hand drive cities where the buses do appear, so I don't really know what's going on. All I know is that the buses that were added to City Skylines don't appear for me, so I went to the workshop and downloaded a few just so we could change things up a little bit and have some variety in there. But anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's figure out what this corner is going to be. Because I thought this building was perfect for this space. And I'm really tempted to just move it like this. So it is right on the corner and it's overhanging the road. Now that's probably really dangerous. And I don't know if that's well, I don't know if it's dangerous. The building, as long as the building's fine, it's fine. But there's just something about that. As maybe unrealistic as that is, it's kind of cool. So I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to have this overhang the road. I'm going to move it back just ever so slightly though. So it's sort of evenly positioned from the sidewalk on either side. So something like that I think is pretty good. And then I want to put some bollards around here just to sort of cover this entire space. But I suppose there's no point doing that until we figure out how people can walk through here. So once again, we're going to go in with the amusement park path and we're going to go back to about here. And we're going to cut through here because I think that's going to be really good for people to get around. But we can also go something like this. And that's going to give us a connection over to here. I'm having one of those days. I keep stuttering and stumbling over my words. I'm having one of those days where I'm coming up with ideas faster than I can say them, and I'm just really excited about this new DLC. I'm not gonna lie. It's just one of those days. I've also been a bit ill recently, if I'm completely honest. It's been a weird time. So story time, I guess. Why can I not? Oh my god, this is the problem with tall buildings, is you can't really get in between them. All right, we'll zoom out and do it that way. Yeah, story time while I'm doing all of this path work and stuff. So this last roughly week or so, probably a little bit longer, I've had some of the weirdest and worst nights sleep of my life. And that sounds very dramatic, but it's true. It's been really, really rough. Not that I've been having like nightmares or jolting awake or anything like that. I just, for some reason, every 30 minutes or so, every hour, I'm just waking up and struggling to get back to sleep. And then I would, I'd sit there for a couple of hours just doing nothing because I can't get to sleep. And it just messes with me so much because I try to have sort of a vibe with these videos. I try to have the videos sort of be chill because, you know, it's very easy with this whole YouTube thing to turn the videos into like a pity party. And sometimes I do, you know, sometimes I'll vent, and I think all YouTubers do. We all kind of vent about things, and I'm venting right now. So, you know, that's kind of the point. But I try, especially with these City Skylines videos, to just have them be chill, because that's kind of what I would want it to be if I was watching this. Obviously, I'm playing it, so I don't watch it, but, well, I watch it in editing, but that's besides the point. So I don't like these videos to be, you know, woe is me and super negative and all that kind of stuff. But it sucks, man. Just laying there wide awake, like, hey, I'm tired. I would like to sleep right now, but for some reason I can't. And it's just such a pain. It's really, it just really sucks. So that's been the last week or so of my life. And it's rough. And then today, I sat down a few hours ago to play some SimCity and record a new episode of that, which, by the way, if you haven't been watching the SimCity stuff, I know SimCity 2013 is not an amazing game, but it has been a lot of fun revisiting that. So if you are tempted, if you are curious, I would recommend, you know, going and hanging out with the SimCity videos. It's a pretty good time. But, you know, I recorded that a few hours ago. And then I sat down to do this, and I sat down to do a couple of other videos, and it just didn't work because of the whole tiredness thing. For one, I'm constantly tired because of this whole not sleeping thing. And I've always had some kind of insomnia. This is different. This is something a bit weird that I kind of need to talk to my doctor about, to be completely honest, rather than, you know, getting a I'm not trying to get a diagnosis from the YouTube comments, by the way. But if you do, you know, have similar experiences, do feel free to share them and let me know what, you know, what's going on and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it'll help. I don't know. But my point is that it really kills my ability to work. And I know that sounds weird because it's like, hey, don't you just sort of play video games? And yeah, you know, kinda. But yeah, it just sucks. It's a really rough time. And then today was a new thing. Today I sat down to do some work and found myself slightly short of breath. So I did a test for the thing we've all been testing for the last couple of years, and currently waiting to finish this video before going and checking that. And, well, all I'm going to say on that is, number one, don't freak out. I know shortness of breath can be a sign of a lot of bad things. I'm okay. But number two, I'm also going to go and actually talk to my doctor in the next day or two and be like, hey, so I tried talking and I ran out of breath. Should I be concerned? And hopefully the response from my doctor is going to be, you're fine. I would imagine that's going to be the response from my doctor, is I'll walk in there and be like, hey, and he's going to be like, yeah, your problem is you're fat. So I'm kind of banking on that one. And I've got a strong suspicion that the problem is going to be like, hey, yeah, you are horribly out of shape compared to what your body is used to from the last, 29 years. So that's what I'm expecting for that one. Anyway, we got some bollards around here now. We got some bollards across there. I think that looks pretty good. I like this path layout, although I've got to be honest, I feel like that's almost overdoing it in terms of the rad paths. So I'm going to take this one out. And I'm also going to go in and just get rid of that node right there. So this is all nicely connected together. I think that's a little better. Although, I almost wonder if we should redo this section. And instead of connecting it there, we can just delete that node as well. We can then go and grab the path and bring it over from here and just line it up that way. That seems like it would make more sense to me. And then it gives us a bit more space back here to play with, which I think is good. So let's just go and grab all of these nodes and make sure that they are set to slope so that this goes around nicely. Let's use our network multi-tool, which I think is already set to the slopes. It absolutely is. We'll just grab all of these and hit enter. So it's a nice gradual slope for people to walk on. And that seems pretty good. People are walking around, they're doing their thing. Let's use good old node controller to tidy this up a little bit. And that looks all right. I like that a lot. That's a good way for people to get around. So let's figure out what's going in this space, because we have to remember that the actual footprint of this tower is a lot smaller than it looks. So in theory, I could go in there and do something quite simple with something like this. And I'm kind of feeling like that's what I'm going to do, is just use the ice cream truck plaza, which admittedly, it's maybe a little bit too childish for that space, but we can just use some kind of plaza. We could use the fountain, we could use the flower, we could potentially use the statue one. Ooh, you know what? I think the statue one is the way to go. Now, obviously, we've placed it over here as well, but I think those are probably far enough apart that I can get away with that. And then we just have a little bit of space here where we could do some work with some trees and get a bit more nature in there. So let's very quickly just go ahead and I think instead of using the concrete retaining wall network, I'm just going to go in here with some bushes and we'll outline this green space with some bushes. So it's a little bit more wild, a little bit more chaotic looking, but I think again, to lean back on that C word, it's going to give us, not that C word, Australian viewers, the other C word that's been, yeah, I know what you were thinking, contrast. We're going to get some contrast in here. I also think that's the second Australian joke I say joke. I think that's the second reference to a certain word that I know. Look, I've known a lot of Australian people in my life, and there's, man, I've learned a lot from Australia. I love Australian people. I'm going to be honest. Some of the kindest, most wonderful people I've met have been from Australia. But y'all know how to swear is that's what I'm getting at, man. Y'all really know how to swear. Like you take swearing to a level that we Irish only, like people think the Irish are good at it. Man, nah, there's a lot we could learn from Australians. Anyway, I think this is sorry, that was such a tangent. I think this is pretty good. I think this little space here could use a little bit of love. So I'm just going to go in here with, I think, some bushes like this and this. And I'm also going to just line the back of it with the pink bushes there as well. It's a little messy looking, but it's a nice bit of color. And again, I think it's pretty good. So that fills up that space. I think around the base of this tower, I want to just get a couple of little, I guess, little tables. Maybe these metal tables would be the way to go. And I think these come in different colors, so we can just sort of throw them kind of everywhere. It doesn't have to be, super neat. We'll just do a little something like that to kind of get some color around there. And I think on this side, if I could actually see down there, which I can't really do, we'll just sort of do a similar thing, just get some tables, something like that. Just a little bit of color, a little bit of detail, nothing crazy. And I think that's perfect for that corner. And so, just like that, we have a financial district. Now, like I've mentioned, this is going to need a name. I need you to go down into the comments and suggest what this should be called, but I think at this point, in terms of detailing, it is mostly done. There's probably a couple of little things we could do in here, but I'm kind of happy with how it looks. I ended up using a few of the city park info booths and restrooms and even a cafe between two of the towers to fill in some of the spaces. And I also used some of those city park plazas to fill in some other spaces as well. Generally, I just want this space to be pedestrianized. I want it to be a nice place to walk around, even though it is very much a concrete jungle. And it also gives us a pretty cool looking skyline that we didn't previously have. Now, to be honest, I do think Nerdholm is going to end up being kind of similar to London. Not in terms of its layout. I've mentioned London a few times through the series, but what I mean in this case is that London doesn't have a definitive, well, it has a skyline. Every city has a skyline, which should be the tagline of this game, to be honest. But London doesn't have, in terms of iconic skylines, it doesn't really have an iconic skyline. At least everywhere I read on the internet about London, it says it doesn't have an iconic skyline. It has several clusters of tall buildings. I think that's what Nerdholm is going to be, because I like this as a cluster of buildings. I kind of like this little IT cluster down here as well. But then I also want to build some kind of Canary Wharf type development at some point, which is going to be another skyline, because it might be over here. Or, alternatively, I guess it could be over here, and suddenly we move, well, I guess we could move from, oh, I might be creating a little bit of Nerdholm lore here. I guess technically this is the old town, in a way. This is sort of the original seat of government and power. And then it will have been redeveloped at some point with all these modern buildings. But I guess as you move away from where the cathedral is and where the city hall is, and obviously the old town itself, you could have these taller and taller buildings. So I guess this would be old Nerdholm. I guess this could sort of be old-ish Nerdholm as well. And then we get rid of this industrial space and replace it with an actual skyline. That might be what we do. I'm not too sure. I've had a few ideas for what could go in that industrial space. I just don't know yet, so we'll figure that one out. But what I would like to do, just very quickly, is go ahead and actually get some buses that come in and around here. Now, there is a pink bus line, which is already coming up here. I think we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. It's this bus line here. It just sort of goes to nowhere. So bus line 2 is going to go away. And I want to look at my buses and see what else we have sort of coming over this way. We have this sort of blue-ish line. If I hover over it, where does it go? Oh, it sort of goes everywhere. Okay. I think I know what we can do with this one. So let's go ahead and drag this line, assuming that is the right one. It absolutely is. I want to bring it up to the front of the stock exchange. I think that's going to be a good place for it. So it's going to go to there. And I'm going to get rid of that stop there so that it just sort of goes from, well, I don't know where it goes from. It goes from in here, it goes out, it goes around, comes to the front of the stock exchange, and I think that's fine. I do want to get another bus that comes over here, though, because I want this to have some symmetry. So let's, I guess, try and find a bus that can do that. I'm not really too sure. Let's do one that goes, I guess, from, let's say, right about there. And let's just create a new bus line. This one might, I might break my rule with this one, because usually I have my buses all route through there, but I guess technically you could get off this new bus line here, hop onto a bus there, and get back to the main station. So let's have this one be one that sort of loops around a little differently. I don't like that. So let's have it go there. Let's have it go there. Let's have it cross over to share that stop right there. We could have it come down to the university if we wanted it to. I think, honestly, I might do it. So we'll have it come down there. So it's going to cross over itself, which is totally fine. We can have it then come down this way. And I'm going to have it stop right about there. I'm going to have it stop just before this roundabout as well. We'll have it cross over into, what is this, Willow Garden and Dale Hills. And it's going to sort of continue across. It's going to have a lot of regular stops every now and then. We'll go to here. I don't like that it has to do these weird turns, though, if I do these regular stops. I'm not a huge fan of that. Actually, it's kind of weird to me that it has to make that weird turn regardless. So we'll put a stop down in here. We'll have it come out. We'll have it stop. I don't like that it has to go down in there again. That's very weird. I guess it could go to the station. I guess that's technically an option. So we'll have it come down to the station. So it's just sort of going to loop around. It's going to come out to here. And it's going to go to there, which means that bus stop there is pointless. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I had a bit of an idea in mind for this. So let's instead bring it up this way. We'll have it sort of cut up this way. We'll have it stop there. We'll have it sort of come around like that. I think that'll be just fine. So that's going to be our new bus line. With that new bus line, I want to just go ahead and sort by name. Oh, I don't know what it is. Is it this one? It's bus line 13. So bus line 13, let's have it use one of these guys. I did get an old 1949 bus, but I think it'll be a bit too much. I also got a new double decker, which I use on one of my lines. I think we'll use the Lion City 18. It's articulated. I think it has something like 120 seats on it, and that'll be just fine. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. That'll give us 2 bus stops right in front of this guy, though, which is fantastic. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I might change out this road for a pedestrian one with bus lanes. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we could do, I don't want to do a 4-lane road with bus lanes. I think maybe we just do the 2-lane road with grass so that the bus stops are kind of nicely cut out like that. I do really like that. I'm a really big fan of doing that. So I think that's kind of the way we'll go there. And now what I want to do is I want to have a look at my stocks. I want to see how my investments are doing. So I'm going to get 303,000 from the healthcare one. Okay, a little bit less now. Let's quickly sell before we lose more. We'll sell this one as well while it has a small profit. And I think now you're ready to upgrade again. Yeah, 30,000 to upgrade it to level 3. And that gives us a large bank and an elevated plaza, which is very cool. And I don't like this. I preferred it before. I really preferred it before it looked like this. I'm not going to lie. I've also realized I've totally forgotten to actually build a bank. What does this guy look like? Large bank. This can be upgraded as well. It has 3 variations for the financial needs of a large commercial area. Comes with a medium fleet of cash transport vans that collect money and reduce the crime rates in commercial zone buildings. Oh, this thing has a huge area of influence. Okay. Well, I'm not going to go too crazy detailing a bank right now, but what I think I would like to do is place it down here somewhere, or at least get it somewhere where it has like a prominent feature. So let's do this corner, since this corner regularly develops the wrong style anyway, and we can just do a bank. I want to say, I want to get it on this road, so I'm going to place it like this, and then I'm going to use move it just to grab the building and rotate it. So it's sort of this way. Can I grab you and move you there? There we go. It looks a little bit weird, but I don't mind that too much. Definitely a weird spot for it, but oh, I like that. I do. What does the other one look like? I'm very curious. It's actually the other one might be better. Hold on. Let's have a look at this other one. Yeah, I think that one is actually gonna, yeah, I like that one. Although it's a little bit more rural. You know what? No. We're gonna go with the big one. I'm gonna get rid of the path, and I'm just gonna put it right about there. Oh my god, oh, I don't know about that style. Hold on a minute. What if I place it again? What does it look like this time? So it's the round top one. Can I change the style? Oh, I can. That's very cool. Okay, so I can have variation 2. Oh, it's got to be that one. It has got to be that one. Okay. Let's move it into the corner just properly right about there. And let's just get some zoning right here. And then what we'll do is go ahead and grab this path and just bring it over and bring it through here. And that seems fine. We can do some bushes down the side of this just to hide our crimes a little bit, because we are going to have a gap between the path and the building that pops up here. So just a little something like that right there, I think is perfectly fine. And maybe a tree right in that corner, just because we can. There we go. I think that looks great. I love that. I absolutely love it. I also want to see what the vans look like. One of them's in use, 2 of them are in use. Where do they come from? Why can't I see them right now? Oh, it has a revolving doors. Oh, look at you. Oh, that's very cool. That is very, very cool. Okay. I'm very happy with this. I am very happy with this. I also want to see what the elevated plaza looks like very quickly. Let's have a quick look at the elevated plaza. So it's ploppable. It's unique. It's a plaza with an elevated part and shady spaces with benches below for tired investors to relax. Great for decorating a financial district. Okay, is that so? I'll be the judge of how good it is for decorating a financial district. It doesn't go central, which is slightly annoying, but I would like to get it in here. So let's just take a look at it initially. Let's get an idea of what this thing looks like before we figure out where it's going to go. So it looks like this. It is actually pretty good, and it's very colorful. This, honestly, this feels like it was made for me. It's very, very colorful. I do like it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, well, you know what? I almost wonder if I could put it sort of in here and then have it almost overhanging. I don't think I could. I do think I could get it into this space, though. I don't know how good it's going to look, is my, that would be my concern. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we hold off on this. Maybe we hold off on the elevated plaza for our Canary Wharf style space. I love this. I love this. Does the other bank have multiple styles? Comes with a small fleet of trucks. I don't think this one does. Does the Skyscraper Bank have different styles? I also have no idea. No, I think the large bank is the only one with different styles. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. Let's pop over here and let's manage some investments, because I think we do unlock new investments at tier 3. So what do we got? Oh, interesting. So for Chirp Air, we need to have at least 30 weekly airplane passengers. That's fine. Farming industry needs 200 squares of farming. Forestry, oil, ore, all the same. Chirpy Cruises is similar. I'm pretty sure there was a new one, though. Yeah, Chirper Crypto. So I don't know if I want to put 1.9 million in crypto, but you know what? I'm absolutely gonna. And so after a whole lot of trading back and forth, and also the addition of a few more bollards down here, which I have to say, I think make this place look that little bit more official, we are now ready to upgrade this to level 4 for $60,000. And that right there gives us the Underground Garden Plaza, which I'm very interested in, as well as the Skyscraper Bank. And apparently this can level up again if I get more money. It's an interesting looking building. I'll give it that. It's definitely an interesting looking building. And suddenly I'm very tempted to invest. In fact, crypto is crashing. Let's spend 1.7 million on crypto. That seems like a great idea. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be glad I did this. But to be fair, I mean, it's trending down at the minute, so we would expect it to bounce back. So we should be able to hopefully make some money on this. We need to make like $700,000 to get the next level for the stock exchange. So I'm expecting it might take a while, but we'll give it a shot. This is actually the cheapest I've bought 1,000 Chirper Crypto for. So that's not bad. We had like 1.9. Ooh, you know what? I'm very tempted to sell right now, but I'm going to hold out and see where it goes to. Oh. Well, I should have seen that coming, shouldn't I? That's what I get. That's what I get for not selling. When we have a bit of a spike there, there was no way that... Oh, never mind. Hold on a minute. Sell. There we go. This is how it's done. All right. We still have a long ways to go on that, but I'm not really too worried about it. I don't think we need to max this thing out today. I do want to just very, very quickly look at that underground garden plaza. It's pretty big, and it's kind of weird looking. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know how you get down there. It's a very weird looking, very weird looking plaza. It's very interesting though. Let's also have a look at the Skyscraper Bank. It's a skyscraper bank for the financial needs of a huge commercial area. Comes with a large fleet of cash transport vans that collect money and reduce the crime rate in commercial zone buildings. It has a huge, absolutely huge area of influence. And it's very tempting to get rid of that media building and put it right on this corner. But then I'd have to detail that whole space, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. Very tempting though. Very, very tempting. I think it would look pretty good too. Am I going to do this? I think we're going to do the large bank. Oh man. I do like the media broadcast building there, but I think the bank kind of needs to be the priority. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's use move it to grab it and just shuffle it over by 2. Let's raise it up to the height of the road next to it. And I mean, it doesn't really look, there's nothing about it that says bank, is my only thought. The media broadcast building was definitely more interesting looking, but sure, this is this is our bank now, I guess. And so now, with the addition of our Skyscraper Bank and 2 more towers just to fill the space where that media broadcast building used to be, I think it's fair to say that our financial district is actually done. And I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. I'm kind of hoping you are as well. I know I said that we were going to do the stadium district today or between episodes, either or, but I'm so excited about the financial districts DLC. I love this stock exchange building, and honestly, the managing investments thing, whilst relatively simple, it's kind of fun. So hopefully you like how this space has turned out. Hopefully it's maybe given you an idea for what you could do for your own little financial district as well. I know for sure I'm going to try and use as many of these skyscrapers in my little Canary Wharf project that's coming up as I possibly can. And I also think that between episodes, I'm probably going to sit down and try to max out the stock exchange and see what that thing looks like when it's actually fully upgraded. So we'll see how that goes, but the cinematics are rolling. You know what that means. It's time to say that that is going to be all for today. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.